Welcome in. Hello. Crowstar, thank you for the 17 months. Happiest of all the Wednesdays. How we doing? We normally do randomness whatever Wednesday on Wednesday, but my Friday is going to be randomness. So we're getting levels today. We need all the levels. Sparkle, hello friend. What's up, Juju? Murphy, good to see ya. Hey, how are ya? What's up, Devin? Inu, Danky, hello. What's up, Jocelyn? How are you? Inarco, hello. If there's any spam bot here, I'll tell. That's right, we're getting them all. If I want a thumbnail, I'll reach out, damn it. Hey, Mock, how's it going? Amber, thank you for the 9 months. Appreciate you, Amber. Misfire, hello. Chosen, hello. John Boy, hello. How y'all doing? All right. Okay. Now we're good. We're good. How goes it? I started a little bit late. Fam got home late, so I wanted to make sure we got to spend at least a little bit of time with him. Not waiting to go to school tomorrow? Roger that. 30 levels today? No. I want more than 30 levels. No. I want more than 30. I told you I want all of them. All of them. 92 levels. Okay, easy. Family first. Well, I just got to make sure to see them. There was a mixed bag of like one kiddo not feeling super hot, and then another one that had a show. So it's like we were playing the parental balance game. So she went, I stayed. Yeah, all the things. All the things. Phoenix, thank you for 2 years. 24 months. I don't know how you've dealt with me or put up with me for 2 years. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Oh, thank you, Wolfie. Yeah, he's okay. It's a fever. Just randomly. It's like he's got those sick eyes where it's like he's like, yeah, I'm okay. But he's looking at you like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, all right, bud, you go relax. He's like, I feel fine. My body's hot. It's like, I understand. Yeah, he's okay though. He's okay. He's doing all the meds and all the things. He's all right. Yeah. Hi, Tika. Hello. What's up, Ghosty? Pink, good to see you. He might have a cold. You don't say. Your baby's teething with a cold. I'm sorry, Devin. When they're really, really little, it's even harder because I don't know. You just stress out so much more. But follow everything the doc tells you and you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Do you know what you're going to be for Halloween? Nothing. I'm not going to be anything for Halloween. Nope. I'm going to be walking around with the kiddos. If you come into the room and throw one more thing at me. What? Alex had it. Well, no, he had it just in case, like, if I came downstairs so he could get a hold of me without needing to march downstairs. No, Al has it. She threw more stuff at me. I don't like that this is becoming like a thing. Be dressed as myself? Yeah. Throw it back? No, because then she'll yell at me for having accuracy. Yeah. No, there was the opportunity last month where chat had the opportunity to choose what I was going to be, but it never happened. So we're just going to be walking around with the kiddos. They're going to do their thing. We'll hang back. So all is well. All is well. I did have another idea for a goal, by the way, and I was really undecided if I wanted to try and like add it to this month as a possible extended or do it as next month. What level am I hoping to get today? I'm not sure yet, Void. I don't even know what level I am right now. Yeah, I don't know. I approve of that shirt. Oh, the shirt that I'm wearing right now? Oh, the St. Jude shirt? Yeah. Yo, hey, what's up, Haley? How are you? My husband has a pin that says this is my Halloween costume. There was one year where I did go as 3-hole punch Jim. Hi, Break. 1-year-old's going to be a gremlin. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, there you go. Make sure to send a picture of it to Gremmy. Gremmy will love it. He will love it. Jonah, thank you for the biddy. Appreciate it. Hi, Mr. Rafa. How are you, kind sir? Good to see ya. Hey, how are ya? Thanks, Rafa. I saw, yeah, I saw it earlier. I'm like, I don't know if I can accept that, but I do appreciate it though. Oh my goodness. Three-hole punch Jim's the best version. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, it's a Roxy. Should wear an Udi. I don't have an Udi. I don't own any of those things. Roxy, thank you for the 30 months. How was your day? Roxy said ill. Roxy always says ill. That's what Roxy does. We've accepted this. 30 months is gross. I know. Shrevy, thank you for the 24 months. Hello. Look at all these amazing peoples. All these amazing peoples. I don't like this song. I don't know why I have it in my playlist. I need to change it. Spent it all at Universal. Oh, nice. That's nice. You got to at least go to something that is away from the Disney crazies and go to the Universal crazies. There's a lot of really cool stuff to do at Universal. Hi, Aldi. The Disney bubble, if you will. Yeah, that's true. Only went to Harry Potter World. It's pretty cool. It's pretty rad. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Aldi, thank you for the 31 months. Oh, hi. Spent too much money. Oh, on Harry Potter stuff? Yeah, there's Hagrid's motorbike. There's the pretty cool ride that, like, I don't know, you straps you in and, like, you're side by side and, like, I don't forget what it's called. Yeah, it's been a long time, though. 'Tis been a while. Hi, Logan. How are you? Oh, Legend, I'm sorry you didn't have a good day. I hope it gets better, friend. Gamer Wolf, oh, hi. Oh, my God. No, Luxy, you're fine. Don't ever worry about that. Oh, hi, friend. Oh, the goal I was talking about. Oh, the one I'm undecided about, and I'm very not sure. It's so good riding at night. See, I've never been at nighttime. I mean, I've only ever been there once, but when I did go, it was during the day. So I have no idea what that would be like at night. Honk tube, hello. Honk tube, sorry. I'm a Hufflepuff, so I got the matching robe, and my wand was chestnut and unicorn. Oh, that's pretty cool. Went to an after-hour event at Universal. Ate all the food and drinks. We did that at Disney. We went to the Halloween event at Disney. So we got to ride stuff up until 11 o'clock midnight. It was pretty rad. It was pretty rad. JLB, thank you for the biddies. Oh, friendos, I appreciate you. I was brought in by Haley. Oh, well, welcome in. Oh my, you did that last year? Heck yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It's cool. You can't do lightning lane stuff or like do any of that jazz, but there's definitely less people. So it's not that, it really wasn't that bad. The wait for stuff was not that bad, but it was a blast. It was especially a blast doing it at night. Disney in Japan. Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, that'd be so sick. Murphy, thank you for the biddies. Took my then 14 and 9-year-old. It was such a fun time. Yo, that's a perfect age. That's perfect. Especially if they're like into roller coasters, especially because then that means the entire park is open to your disposal. You're a Slytherin? That makes sense. I don't know why that makes sense. We're just going to go with it. Disney in Japan's amazing. Oh, that'd be so cool. That would be so freaking cool. Cherry, how are you, my friend? I was lurking you the other day. You were playing the Phaz. You were wearing your oh God, what like onesie were you wearing, or the sweater you were wearing? I giggled a little bit. Just a little bit. Need to share my photos. I would love to see them. Yeah, I would love to see the photos. Oh, it was your Eeyore. That's what it was. There we go. How's the work week been? It's been okay. Or the week been? It's been all right so far. Oh, thank you, Amber. So the idea for a goal for next month, possibly. Maybe this month, but more than likely next month, because I don't know how we would add it to this month. There's probably not. I had an idea for the goal next month. Kaylee, thank you for the 6 months. Oh, I appreciate you guys. We're doing Phasmo today. It's Wednesday, I know. Wednesday, my dudes. But we're doing Phaz all day because I need to get levels. And Friday, I'm playing Friday the 13th with Midnight Society. So, we need to focus today. Ew, Phaz on a Wednesday? Brother, Thunderbolt, thank you for the bits. Friday 13th, yeah. We're trying to take advantage of it while it still exists, because it's not going to exist after this year's over. So we have 2 things coming up soon. The first one is going to be Friday the 13th, this Friday. And then, what day is it, Mayor? Is it on Saturday? No, not Saturday. What day is Killer in the Cabin? Why won't it exist? They're completely shutting down the servers 100%. Right now, they still exist. Saturday the 26th, the following. So, on that day, we're going to be doing Killer in the Cabin, the Halloween update. We haven't played Killer in the Cabin in a long time, and I'm excited for it. I am jazzed. I'm jazzed. Yeah, it's fun, man. It's such a fun game. The clip, I will never forget the clip of Chiba chasing Tater with an axe, yelling, "Tater's the killer." That will forever be engraved in my brain. And I love it. Why are they shutting it down? Long story short, they had to go through a legal dispute because of licensing for some of the assets. And it went on for so long that they basically were forced to move on to another game. And the candy farts from Coach were pretty damn priceless too. But the legal battle went on for so long that they needed to move on to keep their company alive, right? So they made Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they just let Friday the 13th be what it was and just leave it alone. They won, but it was too late. It was too late. So now they're shutting. They announced it like last year, at the end of last year, that they were going to shut down the servers this year. So sucks, but it is what it is. It's such an amazing game. I know. It made the biggest sad part for me is that there were fans that wanted to keep it going, and they told them they couldn't. So they gave them a cease and desist, and that sucks. So unless they're coming out with something that's similar, that blows, and I hate it so much. Yeah, you can't even buy the game anymore. Yeah, Kimmy, thank you for the biddies. I appreciate you. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna load up Phasmophobia so we can get some levels. Never played it. It's a lot of fun with friends. With friends, it's just the flow of the game just works. Sure, someone will remake it. They already tried. That's what the cease and desist is. It's them and their legal team telling them you legally cannot do this. So, yeah. Killer Clowns will be bought next Friday. Wait, what? Oh, you mean you're going to buy Killer Clowns next Friday?
Welcome back. I prepared some jobs.
You're getting lag. Refresh your stream, like I'm not dropping any frames. Yeah, you'll like it. It's not something I didn't stick with it. I don't know. It was fun. It's fun with friends, but it's not something that I'm interested to play all the time. Yeah, it just doesn't have that feel for me. Cool idea. I like it, but nah, just it is what it is. Silly for a goofball. Yeah, Yeah, it's another one of those games that's just a good friend game, like a good game to play with friends. I know some people that were like trying to grind out leveling in that, and I just wasn't having it. Yeah, thank you guys for the hype train. I appreciate you. Kind of games do I enjoy to play? Horror, mainly, but I will play other games every now and then, like puzzle games and things like that. I did see Beetlejuice. Yeah, a little slow at first, in my opinion. It was a little slow at first, but then I started to get into the groove after the intro, after the beginning. I mean, after the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm feeling it now. The beginning felt really forced. Well, Lilac, I can't help you. I mean, I'm not from Twitch. Also, I mean, it has to be your internet. If you're the only one lagging out of the entire stream, then yeah, it's definitely not me. I would try a different browser, try a different device, check your Wi-Fi, see what your download is, all the things. Do your troubleshootings. Do your troubleshootings. Hi, Michaela. How are you? All right. Here's our prestige badge. Here's our prestige badge. Lagged on mobile using data. I lag on mobile all the time. It doesn't matter how good my internet is. Mobile just unfortunately is not that optimized. Isn't that nice? Look at that badge. Watched the YouTube channel for a bit, for quite a bit recently. Finally decided to come to Twitch. Well, I appreciate you coming over, Crusader. 'Tis a nice badge. Well, we need to floor it through some levels so that we're prepared for the Halloween update whenever that is going to happen. Can I zoom in on it? No, but you can. I mean, if you just a baby. If you do a screen grab and then you zoom in, that's the best you can do. I can't. Well, I guess the closest I could do would be this. Unfortunately, you just can't. Yeah. Near T3, need tier 3 for the Halloween event. Agreed. Yeah. We have no idea when the Halloween event is happening. We have no idea. Stop being so tall. I can't help it. I'm sorry. We have no idea when the Halloween event is happening. We have no idea when the console is dropping. If we're guessing, my guess would be Halloween week, but I don't know. There's been no announcement, for anybody, for anyone. Amazed. Hello. How are you? Mayor's like, I've had that for years. Okay. Oh, so the goal that I was talking about for next month, possibly, or I don't know. I'm very undecided about it. So I've played it a few times every now and then, solo, sometimes just for kicks, sometimes with friends, just to like relax and chill. Power Wash Simulator. I had an idea for a goal to play the Shrek DLC dressed as Shrek. So that might be a goal. When I say dressed as Shrek, I mean like full green dressed as Shrek, not just wearing like a Shrek hat or some shit. You just beat it? Oh, yeah. Power Wash Sim it's really just super chill. Super chill. Yep. So I've thought about it. I don't know whether to tack it on to this month, to just make it next month's. If I make it next month's, that means if we were to reach it, we wouldn't do it until December. Yeah. Is that a VR game? I believe it is. It's my opinion on cats. Cool, I guess. I don't know. I like animals. Okay. So, how do I want to do this? Do I want to speed it? Do I want to do some in-between games where we do some Nightmare or some Insanity? I need to decide. Do I have one of everything that I've unlocked so far? The tripod I don't. Chaotic Chris! Oh, hi, friend! Thank you for the raid. How are you? Mix it up. Yeah, I think so. We'll do like a few money runs, and then we'll do some Nightmare, some Insanity, and then we'll go back to it too. Chris, how was your stream? What did you do? Got my friend to play Power Wash with me and hated it. Why'd they hate it? Good, how are you? I'm good. I am good. We just prestiged last stream. I'm level 10, and I need to get some levels because we have an update that's coming this month. Did some Phasmo Dixper bingo. That's dangerous. How's Dixper been, by the way? Has it been okay? That's a question. Is it actually been okay? Because the last time I tried it, not so much. But maybe it's getting better as time goes on. It's been okay. The bot isn't working, but everything else does. Ah, the bot that that says what has been used. Will it be available for GameCube? No, just N64. Correct? Okay. Oh, Dixper, you're such a Dixper. Frickin' an application I wish just worked years ago. The voice mod ones didn't work either. That makes sense. Hi, Short. How are you? Yeah, that sounds about right. It's just struggles at all times. It's just a struggle bus. All right, let's do Nightmare at Grafton. Oh, I need, hold on. I need another crucifix. We haven't unlocked our incense yet. Oh, or do I just want to do speed runs right now? I don't know. I mean, my allergies are freaking acting up. I'm so sorry. I think we need level like 16 or 19 or something like that to be able to unlock all of the tier 1 stuff. Speed run? I think we might. Like the card? Yeah, I like it too. Speed run until you unlock all tier 1. I think that's a good idea. I think that's what we do. Yeah, let's do some money runs. Let's get the monies. All right. Take this over here. Where'd you get that card from? I took it from a guy. I know a guy that knows a guy that robs people. Yeah. Or I got to Prestige 14. Whatever you want to believe. It's up to you. Yeah, when you Prestige, you unlock the cards. At least these cards. We know the same guy? Take your pick. All right. That's good there. That's good there. There we go. Okay. All the stuff in the things. Can't it be both? I mean, I guess. Such a baby in the game. Just about to get to Prestige 1. Yeah, but you're about to get Prestige 1. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Hi, Burrow. Hey, how are you? Hi, friend. All right. We'll start at Tanglewood, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll do some money runs, but just go back and forth between these smaller maps. So let's speed run to all tier 1, and that's going to make us level 16. Once we get to level 16, we have all tier 1 unlocked. It's a pretty good badge. I agree. I like it too. Just prestige last weekend too. Slowly but surely. Damn right. All right, let's do the thing. 2 crucifixes? Yeah, we're ready to rock. So you can gain XP on custom runs? You can. You can. We literally just had the conversation last stream about how I honestly kind of think that you shouldn't, but they let you, so why not? Can't play the game by yourself? That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Prestige 14 is your favorite badge, especially with the Lighthouse Keeper card. Ooh, that's right. The colors would look actually damn good together. I'll have to look at that when I go back. I didn't even think of that. All right. Lisa, we're at 83.99. 83.99. We need crucifix, parabolic, and motion sensors. So What noise did I just hear? What the fuck? Oh, that was my phone. I was like, what the hell was that? It was somebody just got merch. Blood sample. Thank you for getting merch, Fred. I was like, what the hell was that sound? It came out of my phone. I need to turn you on and off. And then I need, where is it? Where you be? Turn you on and off. It's the classic turn it off and turn it back on again thing. Oh, the zip hoodie. Oh, let's go. I appreciate you. I hope you love it. I love them. I love them. All right. Ghosty can hunt immediately. Lag again. Sounded normal. Hatter, thank you for the 18 months. Hello. What's up, Lavender? Bales, how are you? All right. Where were ya, my little stinker? Hopefully not in here. Well, Abaddon, it's going to be really hard to get evidence on a no evidence run. My favorite ghost is a Mimic. Mimic is my fave. For sure. Ms. V, hello. Does that spot actually work to hide? Yeah, you can break line of sight there. You certainly can. Today? Tomorrow? You F off, kid? Oh, it's a Jen. Hey, what's up, Sam? Did you walk through this? You did not. What the? Here. Son of a. Got my first no evidence goes tonight. Thanks to. Hey, let's go. Hell yeah. Anyone had the chance to try the game? No, I have not. I haven't even seen it. Ain't even seen it. Motion sensor? Nothing? Here, let's take these in there and try at least one more time. Son of a nutcracker. Where the hell is it spawning? Go downstairs, you little a-hole. Tell me. Tell me. Check, check. Nope. I have no idea why it came directly to me. I have no idea. Unless it was bugged and then I pressed something on my mouse and it unbugged it. But I think I got hit by the audio bug. I think it was the audio bug. It came directly to me.
I've got some jobs
What a
ready
little
for you.
prick. All right, we go back. We go back. I should have just left. Mistakes were made. That's okay.
Arrived.
Ghost event. Capture a photo. Oh, no.
New intel.
Oh, we'll try anyway. Frickin' Jim. I know. Starting off real strong. Getting all them levels. That's right. Oh, Hyper, thank you for the merch. If you guys do join in chat, you could win some merch. What was it? Oh, it was for the shirt. Let's go. By the way, was that a double door touch? I think it was. I could be wrong. Sounded kind of like it. I kind of think we just go for it. Lost Cat, thank you for the 10 months. Honey Heart, appreciate you, friend. My favorite, maybe. I mean, I could be wrong here, but we're going for it. Is there a winner? Fear the Warrior. GG's. Oh, no, it was not. It was a demon. 'Twas a demon. For the sake of time, if it would have been a Yurei, I just wanted to go for it. I had to try. It sounded like a double. It really, really did. GG's.
Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
Hey, breakfast, how are you?
Got the intel. Looks like
We both heard the wrong... Yeah. I just need to start testing the ghosts and stop assuming what they are. All right, parabolic, that guy, and we need to escape. We're gonna wait on the parabolic. Do this. Son of a biscuit. It's okay. Have it. We're gonna wait. Juju, thank you for the biddies. I did something to my right shoulder. I have no idea what I did. But now I'm like sitting weird because of it. Hey, what's up, Kay? Is that a phantom? Alright, got the escape. Sound like Darth Vader? Well, I didn't ask what it sounded like. Ghosty. New to Phaz, playing for a while. Always get it wrong when it's a mimic. If you mother effer. if you're able to get evidence, verify with evidence. Alyssa, hello. Gotta take the dog out. No worries, Chris. I appreciate you. Thank you for the raid. Maybe not. I'm not convinced anymore. Door's fully shut. Okay. Let's bring this guy, that guy, and this guy. Mimic, maybe. Is the car easier to loop? It's just another looping spot. It's just another one. It makes it a little bit easier, I guess. And it just shut the power off because it's mean. Fear, enjoy the merch, friend. It's like different speed. No, it was a different speed because of line of sight. Now, I don't know where it's spawning. So let's run in there and then we'll find out soon enough. Sass, thank you for the follow. What's up, Kay? My allergies. Head to bed. Good night, Valkyrie. My Lanta. Night Wolf! Thank you for the resub. Hello. Okay. It's my door. Oh god, we gotta hurry. I don't see any orbs. That was right next to me. Hi, drifters. Time for a big chill after molding in Rocket League. All right, that was right next to me, dude. This ghost is all over the place. Now it's over here. What the? Oh, that's right. Many much confused. Many much confused. Does anyone know if we're getting a new map after the console release? Eventually, probably. But there's been no word about there being one with console or Halloween. It was mentioned when it was first announced. Was it? Bro, are you a banshee? What the? It touched the caulk. They're updating the farmhouse is right. Eventually. Again, it was another one of those like. The ghost going back and forth behind the vehicle never makes sense to me. Ever. It's not a twin. No shot. Speed. Hey, what's up, Quick? Put this here. Put this here just because life. Stinky yokai? What? The absolute shit. It can sense me. And F them shoes. That's right. Oh, okay. Well, that was weird. Gotta go yokai. We don't have a choice. What the? Why was it all over me around the entire map? I mean, I know the answer to that is, well, it's Tanglewood, but that still doesn't do it for me.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
Gotta go yokai sounds like a sick catchphrase. Oh my god. Had a crush on me. Well, if you saw from my last short form, I'm already taken by another ghost. So this one can F off. Quick, thank you for the follow. Rick, hello, welcome in. Oh my word. Look at all that. That's where the screen grab. Don't forget to check the card combo. The card combo? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The ID card. Where are we at? This one? Oh, that does fit it too. The colors literally go with it. I think that other ghost loved to hate you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just plain hard to get. You know? It's hard to say. Hard to say. It's pretty rad. That's pretty cool. Hey, Devin, welcome in. What do you mean gross? How dare you? How dare you? Getting cold down south. Got a low iron. Ready for the hoodie. It's getting colder here too. All right, let's go to a different map, but I did unlock some stuff. So we're getting there. We need... Got one of all those. We need one. All right. Oh, wait. Oh, we almost have incense. Sag. Don't really need the headgear, but we're just going to add it anyway, because why not? Yeah, that's fine. All right, now let's, we'll stay with this. Let's go to Willow. This is going to be dangerous because I don't have smudges yet, but F it. Turtle Girl, hello. Hey, what's up, Golmal? How are you? Welcome in, friends. Next prestige will be cool with the official content creator ID card. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Because that'll be the red, yeah? Parabolic crucifix firelights. Did I not unlock firelights yet? Maybe not. Interesting. Okay. Yashira, thank you for the follow. The loadout didn't load properly. Oh, well. Here we are. Shit. I say that because the power's downstairs. Miling? Oh no, way too fast. Is that a Moroi? It doesn't sound fast enough to be a Thay. How can you tell the speed? I don't think it's a Thay. Hi, you can call me Car. My walk-on isn't working today. You can call me Car. Hi, Mr. Car. I think it's a Moroi as well. It sounded not fast enough to be a Thay. And when you have 0 sanity, 0 evidence, you have 0 sanity. So the Moroi will be super fast. Not as fast as a young Thay.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
T-Dot. Incense. Oh, you beautiful booger. Okay. Let's see. Maybe with the pro... See, I thought it would auto-buy that stuff, and I don't think it actually did. Here, let me do this. Disable. Enable. One of each of those. We got those. Don't really need it, but we'll do it anyway. Let's see. Incense, igniter. Oh, you know what? Actually, I should do a couple igniters. God forbid. God forbid. Do I have a list of the custom settings? I do. If you do exclamation point 10x, it gives you the general changes that I have. But if you go to Discord in the Phasmophobia channel, I have this actual settings pinned. So it's just a matter of how you want them. All right, now let's go to Ridge. More levels. More levels. What's up, Benji?
We've arrived. Check
I think there's a problem with auto buy until you unlock. Yeah, it's kind of fudged. Yeah, it's a little weird right now. Maybe that'll be one of the fixes in the updates. I don't know. Hard to say what we're going to get. I'm not sure. All right. Photo, escape, and parabolic. Photo, escape, and parabolic. If you're having trouble with footstep speed, listen to how fast the player sounds when they walk. That's the same as the normal speed of the ghost. That doesn't sound right. That's way too slow. The normal speed of a ghost hunting is like the player walking is this. That's like a slow twin. Yeah, that's not right. I heard it throw something. Best tip for insanity? Get all of your evidence to the door. Broken tangent. Thank you for the 5 months. Hey, what's up, Mile? Happy to catch a live. Watching people play while I do. Oh, do you have any tips for looping? I mean, I'm not a big looper. I will if I have to. Try not to waste your sprint. If you're able to break line of sight, break line of sight. Depends on where you're looping. Finally, damn. gonna stop hunting. As expected. All right, wait for the next hunt. Haven't had the courage to do this setting on anything but Tangled. You just, as long as you know where you can run to, loop, all that jazz, you're fine. Then you're fine. But the best thing you can do is honestly just try it. Give it a whirl. Safe at Ridge, just haven't yet. I got you. I got you. The table's really good for looping and staring at the ghost, watching for like Obake blanks and seeing speed ups. You have a very long hallway here. So let's say you don't have smudges, but you need to escape the ghost. You could easily go to the end of that hallway if it's coming down these stairs and just go to piano. My most common, is it a Raiju? Yeah, Raiju. Start with the Dio, work your way up with faster ghost speeds. Old Thay is great to practice with too. Wait, what? Boots and pants. Now that I have a lighter slot on my VR belt, I can walk around with a smudge, lighter, flashlight, and crucifix. Yeah. You definitely can. Oh, for looping practice. Oh, I got you. Just the idea of looping. If, you know, one good thing you can do, I mean, it has to work out, but if you get a Hantu and the power's on and it's slow in a certain room, you could loop a Hantu because it doesn't speed up in line of sight. So that's like looping with training wheels. Was that quiet? Smudged? That sounded kind of quiet. Timer started. Thank you. Alley Cat, hello friend. Thank you for the 25 months. Yeah, I think it's a myling. You hear how clear the door touches were and some of that other stuff, but then its feet were not very loud, and it was like in a room next to us. Blink before you even heard the steps. Yeah, that would do her. That would do her. So if it is a myling, then it should be a 90-second timer. I started a couple seconds after, so I've got like 20-ish seconds. Here, we can try and get this real quick. Pixel! Hello? Hello? Please? No? Okay. Pixel, thank you for the 500 bits. Oi! Hello, how are you? 90? Oh, Pixel. Wait a minute. Pixel Man gifted to Pixel Light? Is this a family of pixels? Wait a minute. Wait a gosh darn second here, Batman. Dude, this is taking a hot second. Okay. The family lore. Just a family of pixels. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay. F it. I'm not going to wait for those. We're just going to go miling and dip. You notice how the second that we couldn't hear the footsteps anymore, the flashlight stopped blinking? Miling. 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 Josiah, hello. How are you, Josiah? Family lore is crazy. What? There it be. I didn't feel like waiting to go get the other objectives, so we get the ghosting and get out. All right, we have ads playing, guys, so I'm gonna wait on the ads. I'll wait on the ads and then we'll continue. If we get more pixels in here, we'd reach HD resolution, possibly. I've learned we've been pronouncing it wrong. Well, I mean, listen, we're not from certain cultures, so we're going to pronounce things certain ways. Get my sanity meds? Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't need them right now, though. No. Oh, wait. Oh, do I have everything? Oh, wait. That's Papa Smurf, isn't it? That's Papa Smurf, isn't it? You son bitch. Hi, Papa Smurf. Oh, hi, friend. Yeah, I knew it was him. I knew it. I could smell him. I could smell you getting off the elevator. You know it is. Why is he so nice to you? I don't know. Cheeks, Boney Bob, Cliff. You're smooching with everybody. All right. You know what? Probably have enough money. We could just do the all. I swear to God. Why is that not working? Why? Oh, there we go. Hold on. There we go. We fixed it. We fixed it. He scares Phoenix every time. Oh, no. He like comes in with something different every time. Hi, Mrs. Scott. We have a minute left. A minute left of ads and then we'll be back. What up, Enzo? So we're level 17. We need to get some levels. I'm good. How are you? What's up, Silver? How are you? Good to see you. Favorite game? Nice. Had a hyperfixation on Phas recently. Super excited to watch the stream. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Pixel, thank you for more biddies. God damn it. Maggie, thank you for the 12-month Prime. Thank you so much. 1 whole year. Thank you for the Prime, friend. The ghosties are being spicy. Well, I mean, to be fair, I guess to the ghost, we are doing zero sanity, zero evidence. So we're kind of forcing the spice. To be fair. To be fair. Watching the YouTube right now too. Flashception. Let's go. My sushi pattern fleece hoodie snuggie arrived. Ooh. Hey, what's up, 8-bit? Close to Pixel. There's 8 bits of it. Can Gorios roam outside the ghost room and do events? Absolutely. Yeah. They can leave their room. They just can't long roam. They just can't go far away. Unless it's during the hunt. During the hunt, they'll just randomly path. Yeah. So wrong. Hello. Hi, Daffodil. Dafoodle. Thank you for the lurk, Pixel. Appreciate you. All right. So now we can pepper in some regular games with our tier 1 stuff. Now we can pepper them in. Ellen, thank you for the 6-month resub. Hello. How are you? We were talking, if you missed it earlier, we were talking about the idea of another sub goal. Not this month, probably. I would assume not, just because we've already got stuff to reach. But maybe next month, setting it for the sub goal of doing the Shrek DLC for Power Wash Simulator. dressed as Shrek, like full like outfit and also painted green, like the whole thing. So that might happen. Yeah, I didn't know if I wanted to try and set it as a goal for this month or next month, so I was very uncertain. All right, let's go to Grafton with all of our cute tier 1 stuff.
All right.
Should do the hardest difficulty? Nah, it's boring to watch.
And prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
Let me rephrase. It's boring to watch me do that.
I've got a report.
Boring to watch me do that.
Possible ghost sighting.
Yeah, River, I am. Yep, all the places. All the things. All right, get you. We don't need the tier 1. That's useless. You know what makes me a little sad, I guess? So if you ever watch someone else running through the house and they have a tier 1 cam on their head and you're watching their camera, I never get to see that view because I play solo so much. But that view is really cool. I don't know. When I see somebody else wearing the tier 1 and I actually get to watch them, it's just a really cool view. I don't know. It's really immersive, but it sucks that you never get to see it. Get some friends, silly. Listen, dude, listen. Spicy, thank you for the sub. Thank you for 2 months. Appreciate you. Blair Witch view. Yeah. Yeah. Can't see shit. Your friends never grab head cams? See, I guess I never grabbed tier 1. Again, just because I play solo so much. Imagine not having friends. Hey, excuse me. Just because you're diabolical in every video game you play. Hey, what's up, Haley? Welcome in. Good to see you again. See me live in forever? It's because the algorithm on TikTok sucks. Thank God it's down here. Thank God. Pot calling. Hey, excuse you. I'm not diabolical. I'm entertaining. What? 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 Oh, what the shit? All right, I think she's around here. Hi, goat. Having a good day. How are you? Whew. Just got into the game. So helpful. Oh, Emily. Feel free to ask any questions. I appreciate that. That was super nice. All right. We're just assuming that Ghosty is right there. Yum. Delish. What up, Jay? Thought I hunted early for a second. No, I just couldn't tell where it was coming from. What prestige? I'm prestige 14. All right, we're going to assume you're here. Because I've got breath. I am obs, yeah. Yep, all the things. Maybe? Oh, God. 14's insane. I mean, to be fair, the prestige system has been out for like over a year. And also it's the mainstream game. So lots of playtime. Lots of playtime. Huh. Oh. You got outside. Your mother's watching me on Twitch while you're watching there. Hey, say hi to your mother for me. Cooking? With what? The living room fan? Hell, how do you cook? Alright, turn this back off. Any herbs? Nope, just a bunch of snow. All right, put that there. No freezies. Here, we'll turn that back off. Just I think of the biddies. All right, let's go get more stuff. Let's go get more stuff. Recently got a new headset just so you could play Phas again. Hey, a good headset is, I mean, I guess you could say a requirement. It's definitely beneficial because if you're able to pick up if the ghost is to your left or to your right, I mean, that could be the difference between you being alive and getting the old hug. What difficulty? This is on Nightmare. This is on a Nightmare. Right now, I'm just watching the cam for a second. See if we get lucky. You never know. No herbs, maybe some orbs. Yeah, maybe. Well, where the hell are you going? Dude skis. Phasmo was originally made to be a VR game, but I believe so it makes sense. I don't know if it was originally made to just be a VR game. I think that VR was meant to be a very focused aspect. Like always to be included kind of thing. Can you turn the cam to the right? Are you poking fun at my tier 1? Since day 1 has supported both. Yeah. Hi, Mr. Chinggis. You poking fun at my tier 1 because I can't move it to the right? How dare you? You know what? I'm going to go place another camera down, you jerkhole. Why? Because I can. Did I ever play on VR? I did. It's just anytime I've tried to do it recently, it's been really heavy on my computer, and I don't know if that's a Phas problem or a me problem. So, hard to say. I doesn't know. No freezies. We'll drop this here for now. Check the door real quick. Nothing? Okay, good deal. You tell him, damn right. How to get merch? Go to FlashForceMerch.com. Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you close? Are you near? Where are you? Are you here? Are you near? Where are you? Are you near? Are you close? Are you angry? Are you winning, son? I'm trying to. Well, oh, God. Where are you? Are you near? Did I just birth dots? It's so cold. Yeah, we saw him from the truck. I'm going to go get some salt so we can check for some UV. I think I only have one salt. Well, no, I did. I filled the truck. Never mind. Did Flash Prestige? Yeah, if you look at the pinned message, it says Flash Prestiged recently. Yeah, confirmed. Yes, I did. All right, get that guy, this guy, that guy, and go. Who even reads? I got nothing. You got me. I don't. That's just silly. See ya. Bye. Ghosty. Give me the dots. Give me the dots again. Do it. I'm ready. Where you at? Where you at? Getting sick of you invisible ghosts. Shit. No footies. What are you hiding from me? Hey, Sesame. How are you? Maybe Fiverr? Maybe? Mufasa? Damn. Twitch is being mean. What happened? What did it do? French toast. What's up, homie? Ghost is being a turd. turd. Does it want more stuff to play with? Here. I can. I can get you some plates and stuff. Is that what you want? Get you a beer? I'm good. I'm doing well, friend. Work was fine. Came home. We have a little one that is under the weather. He's fine. Perfectly fine, but probably gonna have to stay home with him tomorrow, just to be sure. But I brought work home with me, so it's not a big deal because I can edit from home. And I went full like take care of the, oh look, the bone. Full take care of the house mode. I started doing dishes. I did all the laundry. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now I'm going to do my laundry in my shorts. All right, moving on. I'm going to die. Is that like confirmation? Yeah, you are. Unnecessarily complex. Your name fits so very well with your message. Is this the 5th game after Prestige? I don't know. Ooh, spicy. Still has not given. Oh, you sack of shit. Never mind. Keeping track. Yeah. What game is this? This is 72. I don't know. Look, help me help you, okay? Help me. Oh, it's one of you two. Well, guess what? It's you. We don't have spirit box. It can't be a Dio. It has to be a Thay. Roger that. Roger that. Josiah, thank you for the biddies. Unnecessarily specific. Okay, listen. Photo, repel, and parabolic. Taylor Swift. Indeed. Indubitably. Why is this not showing up? Because it unconnected itself. Oh, that's so annoying. All right, the crickets are not really helping right now. Hey, you better calm yourself. All right, we're going back. Hopefully we live. Unconnected? No, the verbiage literally says unconnected. Gotcha. Dragon! Oh, shit. Thank you for the raid. How are you? Maintain low tones. Fuck, there's no hiding anywhere. I uploaded that blurb, by the way. So it should be available globally. Bro might be cooked. Yeah, bro might be. Yeah, bro. Oh, bro. Get the boner jam. You down. Now it is a Thay, which is dangerous. Thank you for the lurk, Ms. V. What's special about a Thay? When they're very young, they're very fast. The way that they age is by you spending time near them. Every 1 to 2 minutes you spend near a Thay, you age it and make it slower. think you might have aged it. At least a couple times. At least. No, they don't age as you play the match. They age as you're near them. So just being in the match is not going to make it age. You have to be close to it. See, it's not as fast. Hey, Shuttle, thank you for the follow. So, when it's hunting, let's say you're never in the ghost room, but you're never in the ghost room. However, it's aging for some reason. Probably because it's getting near you during a hunt. Okay, dude. Unnecessary. What level am I currently? Like not 20 yet, I think. Or maybe I'm close to it. Damn it. I just want to get the parabolic, man. Talk to me. Fine. I smudged. Here, I'll do a 60-second timer. Prestige by now, but I want to keep all my tier 3 stuff. I feel you. That's fair. It ain't happening, man. Finally. Bye. Not worried about a perfect game. I could do a bunch of interactions, get more salt, all that jazz. Nah. Not worth. Leave. Leave. Take the money and run. Take the money and run. Evan, thank you for the 18 months. Hello. When you prestige, does that take away your levels and equipment? Yes. It certainly does. You lose all of said things. You get, but in return, you get an ID card and a new loadout slot. Is that not worth it? Does the counter start as soon as the hunt is done? No, it counts. It starts as soon as you smudge. As soon as you smudge, it starts. Point of prestige. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. Make it difficult on yourself. You have to go back to tier 1 and work your way back up. That's really the main reason. Sounds, dare I say, unnecessarily complex. See you, Void. Gonna prestige only after the event. That's fair. That's fair. We're level 18 now. Let's go back to our 10, 12. We'll do a few more speeds. A few more speed runs. And then from there, maybe we'll do like an insanity run. All right. I haven't unlocked anything else yet. That's okay. We'll get there. Let's go.
All right, we're here. Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation. There have been new reports of a cursed object nearby. This must be the reason that the ghost was summoned here. Take a look.
Boop, boop, boop,
May be
boop,
able
boop,
to
boop,
use
boop.
it to your advantage.
Boop, boop, boop. Continue. Oh, it must be having trouble. Trying to log into something and it's just not allowing it. Damn, Sag. Sag. Even that's not working though. What the fuck? Even the money? Yeah, even the money. The money, the equipment, all the things. All the things. Okay. Well, that's just not going to work right now. And there's nothing I can do about that. Which is super unfortunate for the YouTube side. Because I can't see any of the messages. Boo-doo-doo. Try a perf game? Maybe. Maybe. But the maps, what about them? Shall we hold? No, no need to hold. If you're talking about like the maps locking up, no, the second that you prestige, all of the maps stay unlocked. All the difficulties are unlocked, everything. That's why all the players that played before they added the prestige system were automatically prestige 1. So that way everything was unlocked already. So it makes sense. Yeah. EMF, firelight, and repel. EMF. Do I want to... we'll come back for you. We want to live. And also be able to say, brother, you know what? No, no, no. Leave that there. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. That's on prestige then. Yeah, if you played before the update. Uh-oh. Hey, what's up, Maddie? What up, Beth? East, I'm good. How are you guys? Links look normal. Speed is normal. Doesn't appear to be chucking too much. I don't think. What up, Kevin? Emmy, how are you? I think Caster Lab is freaking out. Not very fast. No, normal speed. Normal speed. Except for when it farts on you. Sunny Meadows tier 1 is hell? I believe it. I believe. Maddie, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Ghost, you best be chilling, bruh. You best be chilling, bruh. Smudged. Okay. So now we're going to go back. Get more stuff. I have a smudge timer going. Getting less scared of hunts, but still can't play alone. Oh, that's fair. Bye, Juju. Have a good sleep. All right, let's bring another one of you. Let's bring you. And I need a firelight, so we might as well. I think it's by the front, so we should be okay, but still. But still. Because we have that there, too. The forever light. Still no hunt. Nothing. Hey, what's up, Puffy? I'm gonna have to try and do this like this. Try to anyway. All right, 90 seconds is up. It ain't gonna work, but I'm gonna try anyway. Hey, Banana, how are you? Phas on console so soon, I know. I know. I'm having trouble seeing messages over there, by the way, because it's not letting me log in. So if I'm not responding to stuff, I'm sorry. Is there a timer after the smudge? There is. And our 90-second timer has been up. Welcome back, Obs. But yeah, but I can see messages on the other places, though. Is this a spirit? I don't know the exact time on that. I mean, it seems very spiritish. Oh, I don't have to smudge again, but I guess I could. Give a smudge. I have another crucifix. We'll be alright. Be alright. Tanglewood's your favorite? I like Tanglewood a lot. I like it a lot. Step in the salt. Fantastic question. I thought I put it there. I put it over here. It didn't hunt, though. It didn't walk. Although it evented here, and it would have walked back there. That's definitely Wraith. That's definitely Wraith material. Airball is not the actual ghost. No, it actually evented. It evented in here. Did it just walk in the salt? Smudged. it evented in here. And it either never left or walked around the effing salt. That's how we're going to do this? That's how this is going to play out? God damn it. You know what? I'm taking a flashlight this time. Cats are bananas. Hello. It had to have walked around the salt. It had to. Absolute jerk material. It's flippery dude on over there. I hear it. Here, we'll stay away from it. Maybe that'll prevent it from venting near us. But this should cover that corner, which it does. Ghosty can't spawn behind us. Went to get a coffee? Yeah. B-Town, what's up, dude? Can they do that? Can they do what? Benny, hello, how are you? Yeah. It's good to see you, JS. Halen, yeah. Freaking not being able to see the messages if there's annoying. How are things? Things are good. I think we have a stinky on our hands. El Stinko. But, you know. Can they avoid the salt in a hunt? If you don't put the salt in a good place, then yeah, they absolutely can. They certainly can. Stab, hello. Moving in 2 days? Aw. Well, I hope the move goes well. Hope it goes well. We have 30 seconds for a spirit. Seems pretty likely. Got the game a few days ago. Watched my tutorial. Get most of the runs correct. Oh, I'm glad you get the runs correct. That was on the money. It's a spirit. Yeah. On the money, 3 minutes. Can't find hiding spots that aren't filled? What difficulty are you playing on? Thank you for the follow, friend. Appreciate it. Danke. Because if you're playing, the harder the difficulty, the less amount of hiding spots you're gonna find. Spirante. Haley Rose, hello. Yeah, that's one of the pieces of advice that I always give everyone is I would recommend looking for your hiding spots before the ghost can even get close to hunting. Finally, an upgraded flashlight. All right. Professional. Yeah, I mean, you're going to at least have a couple spots that are open, though. What's the odds for Sunny Meadows with tier 1 stuff? What do you mean, what are the odds? Like, what are the odds that someone would play that? I need more specifications. Jana, hello. Oh, thank you for the gifts, friend. Hello. Do it all. Yeah, that's different. Okay, Hyper's a different beast. That doesn't count. The odds of me doing it? It's so boring to watch, though. You can't see anything. You know? You know? Had the funnest mare. Stood right next to me. Only level 4. Oh, nice. Nice. Music Man, welcome in. Play Sunny now. No. You just being done. I'll come here. Oh, thank you, Shino. I know. I'm sorry. It's not even YouTube necessarily. It's Caster Labs. Caster Labs is what I use to see everything, and it's for some reason YouTube is just an endless freaking loop. It's just an endless loop. What do you suggest? What mode to practice on? Whatever mode you're comfortable with. If you're trying to practice ghosts, I would go professional or lower. Play the game. That sounds boring too. All right, we need flashlight. Thank you for the follows, guys. Blee, Yazzer, appreciate you. I'm level 21. I could do more no sanity, no evidence stuff. I don't need to upgrade these right now if that's going to be the case, because they are not useful. We just need to upgrade our flashlight. Flashlight. Who streams to play games? Imagine, dude. Imagine. Did the test with the candles, it blew out, but wouldn't hunt for a few tries? What are you talking about? What are you speaking about? Gonna pass out. Good night, blood sample. Hope you have a good sleeps. Have all the sleeps. All right, let's do another speed run, get it right, and then we'll go to doing maybe like an insanity run. Stay away. No, I have no idea. I have no clue about when it's coming to console. We know the only thing that we know information wise is that the Halloween update and the console are happening this month. That's the only thing we know. There's been no update for anyone as to what day. So content creators, Kinetic partners, you name it, we have no idea. We have no clue. No clue. But we'll find out soon enough. They said this week. They said this week that I think it was on the, I think it was one of their tweets. They said that this week they were going to be saying something about it. So that could be tomorrow. That could be Friday. I don't know. But we know we're at least going to get some information. Do I know if it's going to be crossplay? I would say more than likely. I'd say the chances are high. By the way, this has been in the game for like a year. They added this option when console was supposed to come out and just left it there. And they just left it. All right. Dana. Oh God, not again. It's a craft. Incense, repel, and crucifix. Now the dangerous one with this is that our spot at the end is not the best. It doesn't seem definitive. Does it do anything right now? It doesn't do a damn thing, but it will. It will. Ugh. Have I done an unboxing video? Not usually, no. No, the only time I do unboxings is like throne gifts that are like surprise gifts. I'll unbox those on stream. But I don't buy products and then unbox them. I don't do any of that stuff. All right, let's do another one. Another one. Okay. And we'll put this by the front for electronic. No, I might, you know what? No, we need a flashlight. Craft singles apple. Jana, thank you so much for all the gifts, friend. I hope you're good. Shit, I didn't upgrade to tier 2. I did, but it didn't save. You don't unbox the products you buy. Okay, listen. Listen, when I get a product, it's like a kid like getting Christmas presents. I'm not like, all right, let me set up my camera so I can unbox it and do ASMR. No, F that. I want my shit. I want it. I want it now. All right. These. And we run. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. F these shoes. F them. Are you an Oni? Was that an Oni? I just felt like running. That might be an Oni. This guy, get that guy. No, we're not going to have evidence. No, no, no. Okay. Imagine an airball. At least we would know it's not. Doing a weekly. No, no, no. No, the weekly is not on Edgefield. Not this week. Are you? It's in the basement? Come back, you little shit. Maybe it's not. It was throwing a lot of stuff. All right, let's give it some shoes. Let's give it some shoes. Is that Hantu breath? No. You'll never see the Hantu breath while the power's on. We'll never see it while the power is on. Pulte pile, Pulte line. It's throwing a lot of shit. Hey, what up, Ping? We'll give it a knife. A knife. Pulte, we think it might be. 'Tis possible. I thought you could get orbs on no evidence runs. You can, but that's only if it's a mimic. So, I mean, you're banking on it being one specific ghost at that point. Did the animation change? It does. It does for that model. That model can walk or it can crawl, unfortunately. No, it definitely did. It is forced with a mimic, yeah, because it's not real evidence for a mimic. At the bottom of that shoe look like a cork board. Favorite chocolate candy? I don't know. Reese Pieces are pretty sick. Snickers are really good. Can you do Pulte tests in any part of the house? You can. You can. It's recommended that you don't just make a single pile, but you make multiple. Making multiple piles is better. Butterfingers? Butterfingers are good. You know what? An off-the-wall, like, chocolate bar that I liked that I don't ever hear about? Fifth Avenue. Anybody ever have a Fifth Avenue? I think the reason I ever had them to begin with was my dad. But man, they were so good. Yeah. As long as it wasn't melted. It's like, it was a 50-50 shot if when you went to go buy one, it's just melted to shit and back. That seemed kind of yeety. Are you yeety? Oh shit. Maybe not. It's so fast. Dude, I don't know. This is a tough one. Have you tried? I have not, East. No. I haven't. That was some speed. I mean, were the blinks, were they really Oni-ish? I don't think it's a Pulte either. I agree, Fish. I agree. I tried because it was throwing stuff, but it wasn't disrupting much of this at all. Crunch bar? Crunch bars are good. They're very good. Payday? Ah, I'm not a big payday guy. That's just eating a bar of peanuts. That's all that is. I'm not a big payday guy. Magic Balancing Act, yeah. Babe Ruth, that's basically the same thing. Oh man, what did I see? Whatchamacallit? Yeah, that's what somebody else was saying. Reese Take 5, that's my wife's favorite chocolate ever. The Reese Take 5, that is her favorite ever. Oh man, I gotta look this up. Kit Kats, they have a new flavor. It's like a Halloween one. Fuck, I forget what its flavor was. I think the whole point of the flavor, I think it's cinnamon. And I think they even show like little square cinnamons to like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I think that flavor is in a Kit Kat. Oh, that sounds good. Tim Tam's Mars Bar in Australia, different chocolates. Yeah, fair enough. Was it Ghost Toast? Yeah, that's the one. Yes. Has so many flavors in Japan. Might have to order some. Yes, Ghost Toast. All right, what ghost is this? I could watch it hunt again for kicks and hopefully not die. I'm not sold on anything right now. I didn't do enough testing, to be honest with you. Just go to an Asian market. I think I've got some stores near me that have Asian sections. Like sections of the store that are just Asian food. Or of Asian origin. Linder chocolates? Yeah. Almond Joy? Nah. Why'd you be another spirit? I don't know. Listen, dude. I wasn't paying attention. We started talking about food and now it's over. Hi, Hattie. Ghost is messy. It is messy. Look what it did, Hattie. And don't get me wrong. I agree. F them shoes. Three Musketeers? Yeah, I used to love Three Musketeer bars. Yeah. They're so fluffy. Go! Okay, listen. Okay, good. Phew. Where did it come from? Was that from upstairs? Hey, what are you doing up here? Hello? You little mother... It's over here somewhere. Hey, what are you? Change rooms? Yeah, change rooms like 17 times. It started here. It started in the basement. It started upstairs. It's an anti-Goryo. Oh, what do I want to go with? It's playing hide and seek. I'm not interested. No, thank you. I was convinced it was an Oni at first because of the blinks, but now I'm not sure. Now I don't know. It's stinky. Yeah, but not spirit stinky though. Wait a minute. Oh, fudge. I never laid salt down. Okay. You know what? We have no more smudges, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try. Wraith, we're gonna try. It's in here. Beautiful. We're risking it for the biscuit. In Australia, the U.S. Milky Way is our Mars bar. Our Milky Way is your Three Musketeer. Oh, interesting. You know, I don't know. Milky Way to me has always been like a... I don't know. Milky Way is like a... Like, I'll eat it, but I definitely don't prefer it. It's like... It's like, oh man, I really wanted a Snickers or a Three Musketeer, but I couldn't find either of them. So here's a Milky Way. It's a sad Snickers. Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't find you real chocolate, but I found you this Milky Way. I don't like dark chocolate. I don't like dark chocolate. I love milk chocolate though. Milk chocolate's my jam. Does a Hantu speed up on sightline if the... White chocolate's not chocolate. Hey, white chocolate's delicious. No, not a gin. It didn't speed up. It also shut the power off. Yeah. A nutless Snickers. Again, we just end up talking about food. This is fine. Everything's fine. Did it actually make it here, though? Oh. Oh, boy. Oh, spicy. Spicy. Did it do the ting? If it's a Wraith, I don't want it to hit me. This is gonna be so dangerous. We're gonna go for it though. F it. YOLO. Does the Hantu speed up on sightline? No. How often I play Phas? A few times a week. At least it's food tonight and not farts. Amen. Difficult. What's the most difficult ghost for you to identify? Depends on the conditions. Like, if your breaker is broken, Jinn is one of the hardest to identify because there's nothing that can give it away. With the power on, it's easy to find a Jinn. But when the breaker's broken, there's nothing to tell you that it's a Jinn. It's powerless. Someone called on you? What happened, Hamel? Fish, thank you for the follow. Okay, didn't hunt on top of us. Is it coming from up or down? Hell no, I swear to God. It had to have walked, right? It had to have. You son of a bitch! How to deal with them? That is so unnecessarily aggressive. It's not Friday, it's a Wednesday. We gotta guess the ghost and leave if I can live. Okay. No, flat break. Listen, I stopped by Break Stream the other day and we were hitting her with some. It was the funniest shit. Literally. Plans to play with any of the troublemakers soon? Feel like it's been a while? Probably. I know I'm at least definitely playing Forewarned with one of the troublemakers soon. All right, I have not been ghostballed this entire time, right? Right? Need to find one and favorite it. You really don't. I don't think so. I don't think so either. I mean, I'm going to be wrong on this, but I wasn't paying attention for half of the game. Watch it be an Oni. I swear to God. No, it was a spirit.
There's some jobs ready for you.
Bastards. It was another spirit. I swear that we smudged it and then it hunted not long after that. Could be wrong. Very distracting. Yeah. Damn food conversations are going to happen, man. Every time. Every time. Stinky spirit. Let's go back to Tangle. I want to get one right and then we move on. Power just went out. You know what? Oh my God. Insanity time. Yes, it will be. I want to get another one right. Parabolic crucifix. Let's get our normal stuff though. My lights? What about them? Chatting while it's smooth. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Gonna go get another one. That was fast. Brother. All right. Can I keep this one? Oh, God. Me and my 3rd degree burns are going in here, okay? Butter Jim. Yeah, you know those like hand warmers that you can use during the winter? Ah. Okay, it is fast. Oh God. Oh God. Leave me alone. All right, that's a Moroi or a Thay. I think it's a Moroi. That's a Moroi, I think. Goo. A child. Yeah, I think it's a Moroi. Thank you, Crowstar. Yep. Confirmed. 100%. Eee! Agreed. Okay, we run. We run. I'm like running away from fart sounds at this point. All right. It's sped up with line of sight. Moroi. Never got what? That's a Moroi. That's what the kids. I don't know why we keep getting the damn kid model. I hate it. Because it crawls and you can't see it. You can't see it, but it can see you. Any model that can crawl, the hitbox for that ghost, even though when you're looking at it, it's down here. Its hitbox is here. Don't hit me with my own blurb. Maintain low tones with me. It's a sign. No, it is not. All right. Now we'll do insanity, but let me upgrade some stuff. Upgrade the flashlight. Thank you. I'm gonna have no money. We're gonna have no monies. Go, go, go. Yeah, I thought so. I did. In the store, they were tier 2, but here they were not. Some bullshit. All right. I have ads. We're gonna go ahead and do them now. So I do 3 minutes of ads every hour. So that way, if you're a first-time viewer or if you're not subbed or you don't have turbo, you don't get ads the second you join, because getting ads the second you join a stream sucks a lot and it's really, really annoying. So I do ads in the middle of the stream at certain points as a break, but also so we can control them and you guys don't miss gameplay. So I'm gonna go and run them now. If you're not subbed, if you don't have turbo, you're not gonna miss anything. We'll be right back. So 3 minutes. Ads. Yep. Yep. Stand up, stretch, hydrate, all that jazz. I think some people might have missed the message. Sorry, we got him. We got him. Lizzie. Thank you, friend. Gonna hit the hardest. Excuse me? Oh, wait, Senator. We run ads. Yoga break? I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat, man. Not for me, but you know, whatever works for you. All right, is this ever gonna load? I don't think it is. Sag. I do have an idea, though. I do have an idea. Pop that out. Custom dock. Where is it? I literally just added it. There we go. There we go. Haley, how are you? All right. Ads are done. We're back. They are back. Where ads? On stream. Megs, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, Kerr, thank you. No ads for me. It's going to be different for everybody. Yeah, per the region. There's lots of different reasons. Zero. Bye, Matthew. Have a good one, man. Ping! Thank you for gifting a sub. Appreciate you. Happy Wednesday, my guy. What's up, Desi? Old McDesi. How are you doing, friend? How's it going? Have you heard back about your game? Have you heard back? Have they approved? I know you only had minimal things to update, but I know you have to wait on them. Green, thank you for the 7 months. Bago, how are you? All right, we're doing insanity run, but where do we want to go? Valerie, hello, how are you? I'm having to look in like 2 different directions right now, but it's fine. It's fine. It's all for the 12-hour streams. I think we are quite the distance away from the 12-hour streams. So we'll see. I mean, we still have half a month. Willow? Yeah, we do Willow. Thank you, Crystal. Very broken wrist. Oh no, I'm sorry, Valerie. I hope you get better. Obviously, you go to high school. Sorry, I'm pulling up Discord real fast. Apologies. Okay, there we go. What's up, Kevin? No, there's no date for console yet. We don't know. There's been no confirmation anywhere. It's going to be random if you do a poll. I know. I could just do random and then just cut to the chase. Or Bleeze. Bleeze could be good. You know what? I don't play Bleeze a lot. I like the idea of doing Bleeze. We'll do Bleezy Street. Hi, Mr. Vin. Spin a map wheel. I do have one somewhere. Save us the trouble. Oh, don't even know. They will procrastinate. Yeah, they will. Yep, we're waiting to hear from them about it. Yep. Mr. Vin, guys, if you've ever wanted to, you know, hang out with somebody that's absolutely obsessed with trading card games, Vin's your man. He says he doesn't have a problem and he figured it out. That's a bold-faced lie. Wow. No, but seriously, make sure you guys are following Vin. Vin is another member of Midnight Society. Great friend. Hilarious. So fun. He plays lots of community games, lots of games with friends. And we have such a blast. Vin is amazing. Vin got you hooked. He's trying to get me hooked. He got me the game. He got me the game. He's trying to pass it off. He's like, hey, first one's free. Oh, man. Your favorite map is Sunny. Nice. Hey, Boom. What's up, man? Ow. Play it. You won't regret it. Listen, well, I tell you what. If we reach the goal for the end of the month and I have those long streams, we'll absolutely play it because I'll have a lot of time. So that'd be perfect. And then we can spend time on it. So we'll see. If not, I'll play it off stream and then see how I like it. But yeah. All right, let's go to Bleasdale for some insanity because we don't get cursed possessions because that's fun. Play what? Trading card. I forget the exact name. I don't remember the exact name. Crowd control? What about crowd control? Oh, you mean with crowd control? I could. I was watching you play with crowd control. That was pretty damn funny. Another Kemper. What the? Name my store Instant Dopamine. That makes sense. Oh, Valerie, I appreciate you. Thank you. Got off the game? How was it? Of course. Of course. I haven't had a Harold Lancaster in quite a long time. How long till they get sued? Sued for what? Likeness? For cards? They're not going to get sued. No shot. Bone. Ghost. Power. It's addictive. Did somebody just play a blurb? You son of a bitch. That sounded so real. Oh, it's there. Thank God. That sounded so real. MC, thank you for the gifted. Thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate you. Thank you, friend. Oh. You sneaky snake. That sounded legit. All right, where you at? Born. All right, that's not setting the EMF off. There we go. How to play the blurb. If you are on console, if you do exclamation point blurb, it actually should explain it to you. Wish TikTok minimize in the background. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. Make like a little window. Actually, would minimize in the background? You mean like for just the sound, or you mean make the window small so you can keep scrolling or messing around with your phone while it's playing? 'Cause I think you can do that. All right, take this. Make the window small so you can do other things. I'm pretty sure that you can. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. If you... Oh, maybe not on a live stream. I know that you can on... I know that you can on regular videos, though. I think on a live stream you can't. And that is stinky. Because when you... If you're watching just a video... Let me try it real quick. If you are... Stop it. If I'm watching a video and I hold down, then you go to the right, there's picture in picture. And then you can minimize and the video will be playing there. Now, the cool thing about that is that it will automatically go to the next video. I don't know what this is on my For You page, but it will automatically go to the next video when that one is done. Hold on. So when that video ends, wait for it. I don't know what this is. If you have autoplay enabled. Oh, okay. Yeah. And then it goes right to the next video. Maybe I already have autoplay enabled then. I'd rather have it do that for live. Yeah, I know. That'd be nice. But why get things that are useful for us? That sounds stupid. It's a singular button, so it's pretty easy. I gotcha. Roger that. All right, let's go back inside and hopefully not die. MC, thank you again for the gifted. I appreciate you. Mark, hello. Depending on the phone, unless you load them up, and it stops. Oh, gotcha. Good thing it's so easy to look for orbs. Instant dots? Huh? That'd be cool. Yeah. Huh? Huh? Want to do the ting? Really? Both of you? I'm going to do this. So that way, if it writes in the book while I'm looking at it in the truck, I can see the shadow of the book lifting. Can't convince me that wasn't coordinated. Hi, J-Mac. These bastards. These bastards. All right, let's watch this for a second. See if we can get lucky with some dots or a book. We're only going to get one piece of evidence because it's insanity. So we'll see how it goes. Home by yourself tonight. Those blurbs are terrifying. Oh my God. It's over there throwing stuff. HR chucking stuff. I see it in the corner. Did it just shut the book? I think it just shut the book. It's insanity. Yeah. Why so real? Because someone probably literally knocked on a door and recorded the noise. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty real. I think it did. I think it did too. So, get you, take one of you, get one of you, and go over there. Camera made it look like someone was sitting in the chair. That would be creepy as shit. You go walk into a room and the ghost is just sitting there. She says, oh, hey, how are you? All right. Let's try. Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you near? Are you close? Where are you? Are you near? Are you here? Was that... Is that a window? I think it was. Yeah, turn the sink on. Yeah. I hear it. In the bathroom? What are you doing over here? Oh, and you walked, you son of a bitch. Where's the... Did I not bring an EMF in here? When you gotta go, you gotta go. In the sink? Yeah, there's our book. No writing. Makes you think of oh, it's literally in front of my face because I forgot that I upgraded the tier 2. Makes you think of Bridesmaids. When she's going in the sink. It's coming out of me like lava. Maybe freezing? I don't know. It keeps going back up though. I'm not sure. Unicorn, hello. No? Not today? Not having it? Alright. Maintain low tones with me. Oh, it's so close. Just do it. Oh. Okay. Damn it, slow. You bastard. He knows. He knows. He's being a turd. Hey, RS, how are you? Cardinal, thank you for the prime. Evans, I have nothing. Literally nothing so far. So what I'm going to do... Shut some lights off so it has the ability to do some stuff. Ghost is being tricky. It just doesn't want to give us stuff, and that's okay. That's okay. Vish, how are you? But yeah, we got nothing so far. You get a lighter, we'll get a crucifix, and... Oh boy. Okay. No writing. It's not providing UV. We have like 1,000 orbs. No freezing. No spirit box. My guess would be dots at that point. Now, if it is dots, either dots or EMF. I haven't had that many EMFs. I haven't had that many readings. You know? Goryo. We would have dots if it was a Goryo. What evidence do I have? Still nothing. Yeah. Yeah, I walked to the truck and came back and it didn't provide me anything. There. Go there. Back into the game. But I don't play it alone. It's a really fun game to play with friends. It really is. Not happening. Not happening. All right, I want to cover my tush. So we're going to go there. You notice it's not really doing anything, though. Shade? I mean, Shade's EMF 5, right? Is there a candle in here? Naturally, I don't think there is. And that's okay. Hunted yet? No. No, it's not doing a damn thing. What I'm about to do is go get motion sensors so we can track where it is. Because right now, it doesn't even feel like it's in this room. Nightmare? No, we're playing on Insanity. Should get a motion sensor to track where it is. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe on the way there I can stop off and get a cheese ball. I had another craft today, Chiba. Another one. It haunts my dreams. It haunts my day hours. They're daymares. Daymares. Oh. How are you, Mr. Cheebs? Chiba! The crafts are taking over. Oh! It's not a mare. It flippery doodad the switch. Ooh, that was a winder. That was a winder. Okay, okay. Oh no, daymares. How was your day, Cheebs? How was work? How was all the things? All right, turn on the light, so it's not going to. Well, let me check this first. Okay, it's definitely not going below 1 degree. Last day off. Back to work tomorrow. Fun. Not really, but you know. Here, want some pot? Pan? I can't pick up this weight. Can I? No, I can't. Very shy. Extremely shy. You notice I don't... The motion sensors aren't even going off. So I don't... Okay. That was unnecessary. Okay. It's walking over there. Craft apple. You ever see that TikTok of the girl with the styrofoam? Anybody remember that? Cue the red light event? I don't know, man. This has got to be a shade. Cleanse and crucifix. Grizzly knows. Styrofoam. Miss Fortune, hello, I'm good. How are you? Pretty sure we have a shade, and I'm pretty sure the evidence is going to be EMF. It's being a jerk hole. And it's being a jerk hole. Yeah, like Phoenix said, you boy, your best bet is to contact Twitch support. Yeah. How would I know if a ghost orb is fake? Is there any indication? Yeah, there's an easier way to know. Depending on what difficulty you're playing on, the orb will be extra evidence because it's fake. So if you're playing on professional, you'll get 4 pieces of evidence, not 3. If you're playing on insanity, you'll get orbs and another piece of evidence, and you shouldn't with any ghost except for the mimic. If it's a no evidence run, you'll have orbs because they're not real. Yeah, what I just said. Everything I learned from Cheebs. Everything. Cheebs. Now I see it. Now I don't. It's gotta be a shade. Who wants to watch some TV? What I should do, you know what I should do? I should take flashlights, light this area up pretty damn good, record some video of it, and use this as like a BRB screen and put like my Twitch clips in here. That'd be a cool idea. Put a couple flashlights on there, do one there, put one like right there. That way the whole thing's lit and you just get this corner like this. You know? Write BRB on the wall. That could be a cool idea. I'll think about it. You have a question about the twins if you don't mind? I really do mind. Yeah. I'd rather not. No, go ahead, please. What a question do you have? I like that response. Damn. Shit. Just a question. Do we crotch save our sanity? Do we, if crotch, save our sanitation? Venezuela. This ghost is obnoxious. It is doing literally nothing. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Venezuela was correct. Skitty diddy. What's a shade's power? To do absolutely nothing except annoy you. That's about it. I'm not even, we're just seriously, we're leaving. If it's not a shade, well, this is a really shitty, whatever the other ghost type is. Yeah.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready.
Never mind, it was shitty twins. Wow. Twins is EMF 5 as well, right? Yeah. My guess is it was EMF 5. Spirit box freezing. Nope, it was EMF 5. Stupid twins. It threw the book. Doesn't a shade need ghostwriting? Yes, if you have all your evidence. But if you're playing on Nightmare, Insanity, or no evidence, well, no. If you're playing on Nightmare, Insanity, it's going to hide evidence. So you can't just say, it's not this. All you can say is that it's not going to provide that. What was the question? I'm sorry. I got distracted. On. Scrolling back. I know it's one ghost with two ranges of interactions. Can they be on two different floors? No. No, the way to think about twins, and the best way is explained to me, and the way that I've always thought about it, is that twins, it's like one ghost wearing two hula hoops. One is one particular range, 3 meters interaction range around it. The other one, that hula hoop is massive and can be 16 meters. So it's not going to wear one and then have another one that is on a separate floor. It's on the same floor because it's one ghost with 2 interaction ranges. Yeah. Hey, Starburst. Okay. God, I hate it. Insanity just without the curse sucks. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. Unicorn, thank you, friend. AJ, thank you for the follow. Do we, if crouch, save our sanitation? If we crouch, does it save our sanity? No. That was a good translation, though. How long did it take me to get to Prestige 1? As soon as they did the update, however long it took them to do the update. Because it was instant. Yeah. I got it instantly. Let's do Point Hope. Thank you, boss. Hello, friend.
All right, we're here. Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
What update? What do you mean?
The ghost here seems to be linked to a cursed object. Go and take a closer look. Maybe using it will help your investigation.
Go Tanglewood. There's a friend you can play. Yeah, I know. Do the twins always move outside when hunting? The ghost can't leave the house. Is there a setting where if you die, you don't lose your stuff? There is. There is. But if you turn that on, you're not going to get any XP or any money. If you're just wanting to do customs and just to practice and not lose anything, there is a setting to not lose anything. Hopefully a smooth run. We'll see. Oh, I went to go put that on. That doesn't do a damn thing. When does the missus find out if the embryo? I mean, soon-ish, Janelle. Soon-ish. I think it's 9 days after implantation. 9 days after. So we will see. Irish, hello, friend. Implantation, what now? Yeah, that's right. I'll say it twice. Oh, Janelle, thank you so. They're all locked. What the? Mother effer. The old good luck ding dong. That's right. That's right. I blinked on the whole convo. I mean, we talk about it every now and then. I don't talk about it excessively or anything. Assuming surrogacy, yes. Yeah. We have hiding here, by the way. Hiding right there. Plan on Pro. I keep having the ghost not give me 2 evidence. Do I have something in my settings or is the ghost being stubborn? Probably the ghost being stubborn, to be honest with you. If you're playing on professional and you're only getting like 1 piece of evidence, that's probably just being stubborn AF. What do you think about the new map? I've heard mixed reviews. I like the new map. It's just not something that I would want to play all the time. Don't forget, Bruce. I won't. Yeah, I like it just because of how unique it is. Unique New York. Oh, those are the darts. I like that each floor feels like its own thing, which is pretty cool. But what I don't like is that I get the ghost all the way near the top very often. Very often. So this small map, I'm running up and down 10 floors every time I need to go look at the ghost. Obnoxious. Obnoxious. And we're pretty sure that the sanity drain is F2. Sausages in the hole? Absolutely can. 100%. What's up, Ocean? Here, let's, you know what? Let's do that now before shit hits the fan. Thunder Jam. Oh, thank you. All right. Classic game of sausage in the hole. You prefer the ice machine? I always forget about the ice machine. Isn't me just being crazy? No, the ghost can be really, really stubborn sometimes. All right, here we go. So to play sausage in the hole, you stand across, directly across from one hole to the next, and your goal is to make the sausage in the hole. Okay? It's pretty self-explanatory, but you know, it takes some skill. It's some practice. So you go get a sausage from the kitchen, you take aim. I don't know where I want to go here. Maybe we'll go like, I might shoot a little bit too high. Fuck. I'm out of practice. I haven't played in a while. Let's try again. Yeah, yeet. That's just highway robbery right there. That's like the basketball getting stuck on the rim. That's some bullshit. All right, we go again. Nailed it. Third time's charm. Sausage in the hole. Buckets. All right. Where are you? It's not that bad. Goodbye. Okay. It's upstairs. Master bedroom. It's going to hunt now because my sanity is drained by 50. Chiba said a craft apple a day keeps the doctor away. Can you imagine if every day you ate a ball of cheese like that large? You'd be like a bear, like preparing for hibernation. You just clog it up. Ugh. Ugh. Wait a minute. That didn't shapeshift, did it? I'd rather eat a $2,000 Parmesan wheel than Kraft cheese. That's just a lot of cheese. I don't think it did, but I don't know for some reason why I thought it shapeshifted. It was weird. Don't think it did. I thought that it went from like the one model to possibly the grandpa or something. I don't know. Too busy thinking about. Yeah, that's fair. You son of a bitch. Something again. It in fact did not. Okay. Saw the skinny guy with the axe. Did I just hear the sausage? Did anybody else hear that? Oh, you son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. What does the sausage sound like? It has like a squishy sound. Did it like fall through the floor? I don't see anything anywhere. I mean, it's a little hard to see, but I swear to God, if you go back and listen, I heard a noise, like a squish. Swear to God. Bong. He's inspired. Imagine I go back up there and the sausage is in the hole. I'd be so proud. I'd be like a proud papa. All right, we're gonna take every single bit of that because life. Now, I don't know what Ghosty is. We know that it's upstairs in the master bedroom. So, hope and a prayer. Forgot how good the tier 3 flashlight is. Yeah, comparably, it's pretty damn good. Yeah. Hopefully my sanity's high enough now. Yeah, seems okay. Off to the races. hunting. So the first thing you hit is the bathroom. Okay. And then the master. We have orbs. And we have full. Now, call me crazy, but I swear to God, this ghost. Oh, Jesus Christ. Is pretty tall. Like this height. That means this literally went by the door and went, eh, and then went back up. What is that height? Acting like a mimic? I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say. Who puts the doorknob that low? Yeah, I don't know. Somebody mean. Somebody really mean. Orbs, ultraviolet. I mean, are we sure I didn't see that? Is it just a coinky dink? He tripped multiple times over. Oh, it's a footprint. Oh, he kicked the door. I believe it. I believe it. I don't know. It's Bigfoot. What I should do, if it wants to keep smacking that door, what I should do is turn that camera around so we can see the door. Let's put one of these in there. Let's put one of those in there. His feet could look like hands. Man, wouldn't that suck? Actually, I don't know if it actually would suck. I don't know what would be good or bad about that. So that's a weird thing to say. Hey, Queenie. Classic sausage in the hole. Hey. I only got one evidence on insanity. We're not on insanity anymore. This is nightmare. My life's a nightmare. All right. We're going to put this here. We get it. You're cool. Hopefully that works. Hello? Another fucking camper. Camper! Hello? It's another one. Jesus. I need you to touch Nanor. Hello? How about this? You do that. I'll be right back. Wait, am I full up on shit? I am. I brought you a friend. You're not a mayor. Wait, can you see fingerprints on this light? Oh my God, you son of a bitch. Is that a ghost fart? So you can see it on that one. I don't know if you can see it on that small one over there. If you can, this is an Obake. You're scared for me. Thank you. Come on, touch Nanor. Stop it. Xenon, hello. How are you, Fred? I don't know if I'm just... if it's a coinky dink that I thought that I saw a shapeshift. Xenon, do you know... can you get fingerprints on that light? Bruce want to say hi. Hi, Bruce. Game Slay, hello. How are you? Dude, this ghost won't touch the Nanor. Oy vey. Haven't played Evans in a long time. Listen. Just because you... I was watching y'all today. Go with the guts? Oh. I really needed to do the ting. Ooh, I think it does. Because look at that one right there. That has a fingerprint on it. I don't think that did. I think this is an Obake. I think I was right. Oh my god. What else could it have bursted? It already did that. God damn it. Fila, thank you for the tier 1. I appreciate the sub, friend. Thank you. Hide and seek. Alright. Hopefully it comes downstairs. I don't know if I actually saw a shapeshift on that first hunt or not. I thought that I did. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see if I actually did. Manifesting it? Thank you. You're mad at this map? Why, Mel? What happened? Ha, Mel. You got trapped? Wait, how'd you get trapped? What do you mean? Where did you get trapped? One out of 10 mechanically. It's just the idea of running up and down 10 floors. Ghost is eventing. I actually made it so dark I couldn't find the door. Oh. Good night, Puss in Boots. Have a good one. She was taking a wee. That's right. Oh no. You know, I think I got to go bake a cake on this one. I think we're gonna go bake a cake. I just don't want to sit here on this map for an hour. So you literally were trapped because you couldn't see, right? Just jump off. You know, when this map first came out, one of the first ideas I had was to throw items off the top. And when I found out that there was a hitbox, like a block, and you couldn't actually throw anything off, I was so mad. I was so angry. All right, we're gonna go bake a cake. I couldn't see. Wait, what? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, go to the top outside, see how freaking dark it gets when it's not foggy. Yeah. I don't know if it was a coincidence or not. I swear I thought I saw a shift. There's an invisible barrier. There is. Yeah, maybe it did. I think I might have. Think it is possible. All right, let's do us a few more level runs. Mel, how is your leveling going? I know you were doing some today. Do you have any more good equipment we can upgrade? Negative. No, we'll get levels and then we'll do it. Throw a big ice chunk and smash on the ground too, don't you? Wait, what? Prestige 14? Indeed. Started slamming what evidence customs with the poo-poo tier 1s. Nice. What level did you get to?
Use it to your advantage.
Good night, Dad. Appreciate you. Don't worry, Lillian, but I have everything tier 1 unlocked and tier 2 flashlight. Nice. Nice. There should be a laundry chute in that lighthouse that lets us go from... Oh, that'd be so funny. Is the ghost attracted to the parabolic during a hunt? If you have it on and you're within range, yes. Absolutely. Motion, crucifix, and event. Motion, crucifix, and event. All right, well, let's do this, this. Try our Luxies. You did not just fucking be a mare. There's no way you just did that on my way to the garage. Do I need a smudge? Done. Oh, Cruci witness. Nope, not worth it. We leave. Could it be a coincidence? Absolutely, 1,000,000% could be. But is it a good chance it's a mare? Yep, and we're taking it. New gadget in Phasma the other day, a tablet. Yeah, that would be pretty neat. I think another thing that people have suggested is like a wristwatch that you can observe like your sanity on, which would be kind of cool. Pay like a bunch of money for it.
Welcome back. I've prepared some jobs for you.
Oh, that's funny. That's good stuff. That's 1 minute and 9 seconds, and the mare did its ability on the first light switch. I will 1,000,000% take that any day of the week. That's an easy 2,500. All right, do it again. I do have better photo camera though. Photo. Here, quick. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Okay. Ready up and go. Want to know my sanity outside of the truck? It would be pretty cool. What up, Jubs? The devs are hyper focused on the console release right now. They have been for quite a long time. How long does it take to reach level 100? It is very much so depends on how you play the game. Yeah, I think I put together like an average. If you're playing professional, and you're trying to get to level 100, it should take you close to 100 hours. I believe. It should, if you're playing on professional, it should take you close to 100 hours to get to level 100. Yeah. I'd like to see more ghosts for the remaining evidence combinations. Oh, I would too. I would love to at least see one more. At least one. Throw a wrench in the mix, you know? Okay. Cleanse EMF, capture a photo. So we'll do EMF. And then if we can have time for the photo, we'll do it. Can you get to it in 1 week? Prestige? I mean, again, it just depends on what level you do. You can do it in a day if you're playing on the right level. It just depends. Oh, it's a phantom. Okay, we'll take it. Popsicle stick crucifix? Yeah, that's what it feels like. Definitely what it feels like. Or a mimic. Yeah, but when you're doing runs like this, you don't go mimic. You don't even waste the time looking for the orbs. You get mimicked and you move on. The amount of time you spend going back and forth trying to figure out if it is one, it's not worth it. Not worth it. This is my 1012. Yeah. How do we know it was a phantom? Because it was not very visible. The phantom is less visible during a hunt, and the Oni is more visible. That's how we knew. You can't get mimicked the first 90 seconds anyways. Oh, you mean like with the actual, like the ghost literally changing ghosts? Yeah. Yeah, so you'd have to spend however much time in the map to realize it's a mimic or think it's a mimic and then go look for orbs, and it's like, F it. You go with what ghost you think it is. If it ends up being a mimic, whatever. Moving on. Moving on.
All right, we're here. Take a look at the
You'd think that the
equipment
crucifix being made of 2 sticks would be free. Yeah, you'd think so. I don't know how much labor is put into that tie right there. But you'd think it would be not too extensive. I mean, even these are a little bit more. It's much more sticks, many more sticks. All right, Shelly Road, crucifix, firelight, and parabolic. So we're going to take the parabolic because we can light the candle that's over here to our left. Ghost is to our left. Ghost fart, not Oni. She's behind me. Hey, how are you? Got the parabolic. She's hunting. Is she quiet? Is that a Myling? I'm gonna have it do another hunt. Ulti? I think this might be a Myling. It sounded kind of quiet. Sounded kind of quiet. Let's bring another smudge in. Sounds quieter than normal. Actually, you know what? Oh my god, I thought it touched the front door. I was like, you son of a bitch. It did touch a door, but it wasn't that door. Did she blow out the firelight yet? She's over here. Bastard. Myling. They can touch the front door. Only if it is a Yurei or if it's a mimic mimicking a Yurei. Good night, Fear. All right. Where are you at, Ghost? Oh. Oh, you blew out the firelight. Oh, appreciate you. I could get the crucifix. I could try. Maybe that crucifix will hit her. It's worth a try. Fuck it. If the cruci hits, it's extra XP and money. Spicy. Sold. Thank you. Oh, hey. Thank you. Easy peasy. Easies cheesies. Take it. Myling. She's so polite. She even let us out with some light. Oh, it went back in the truck.
Welcome back.
Look at that. 3,600. Nice. Yeah, even turn the light on. What a sweet hat. Hey, what's up, Morgan? All right, I have ads that are about to start, so we're going to wait for them. Ads are coming. So if you're not subbed, if you don't have turbo, I'll wait for you. We're not going anywhere. I do 3 minutes every hour so you don't get pre-rolls when you first enter the stream. So this is a little mini break for you. Little mini break. There we go. Think it's going to be a revy? I don't know. Hard to say. Hey, what's up, Dom? She ate the biscuit. She ate it. Hey, Coletta Jane. Thank you for the 6 months. I appreciate you, friend. Thank you. Thank you. How far are you trying to get? Well, tonight, I don't know about that, but I, in general, need to get back up to level 90. Yeah. Play. No. Time to grab some snacks? Absolutely. You have 2 minutes. Before, oh, the updates that are coming this month. Yeah, the Halloween update's coming, and I don't want to have to do it with lower tier stuff. Got a cat ad? Let's go. Cat, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Yeah, the Halloween update, it's coming soon. Soonish. Probably, I mean, we're thinking the last week of this month, but we'll see. Bye, Unicorn. Have a good one. They advertise cats? Yeah. Yeah. Foster cat, you know? Mr. Monkey, welcome back. How are you? What's my favorite map? Willow. Willow for sure. Yeah, Willow's my fave. My least favorite is High School. It's just extremely boring. The amount of items in that map is so low. They've said on streams, but this is not baked anywhere, that they eventually want to update it, but we don't know when. We have no idea how far down the road that would be. My favorite big map is Sunny Meadows. For sure. Absolutely Sunny Meadows. Oh, okay, DJ. Oh, okay. High School update would be nice. I would play it more. Yeah, but I don't have a problem with asset maps, but I mean, High School is like one of the most asset maps that ever could be an asset map. It's the only prison I can't work out the lights on that map. I guess it just depends on what lights you're trying to turn on. All right. They are done. The cell blocks. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you'll learn that by trial and error. By going into the operation room or going into the main room where all the lights are and flipping them on and see which ones turn on. Thanks for waiting, of course, always. If I'm able to, I will. It's just a small 3-minute break every hour, which is definitely not bad at all. You done Camp Woodwind yet tonight? I have not. I haven't, but I could.
All right, we're here. Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly.
Red, welcome in. Nor, thank you for the follows. Appreciate you guys. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, light switching. We know. Shush. 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 Firelight. Okay. All right, pause it. Wish we could turn off the radio guy. I wish the radio guy would say other stuff. Yeah, and I do. All the places. The tubes, the Twitch, all the things. Yep. Where was that? Is that living room? Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, I hate your face. Oh, and you're a little cretin. No. Open. Run. Absolutely dropkick that little bastard. Shut up. Yes, we do. Is this a banshee? Are you winning? Not with this sound. This little shit. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. All right. This little mother effer. You sack of shit. I have time. You little jerk. Was that in front of me? Is that light right there? Me too. Chingus, these ghosts are stinky. So stinky. Bastard. Oh god, can't see. There it is. You motherfucker. It cut the power off again. No evidence, just for these runs. We're doing a few XP money runs in between regular games. Up is smudge. Up is smudge. They think they're so funny. So many whispers. Just do it already. Maybe it'll do it during a hunt. Not a yokai. Whispers to me in the middle of the hunt. Not a mare. Wanted to tell me something? What do you think he was trying to tell us? Lofty, thank you for the follow. Let me bite your ankles. You can F right off, dude. Wait a minute. Did I just see... Did I just see a tall person? Wait a minute. Dread! Dread, help! Did I just see a tall person? Yeah, I think it might be an Obeka cake. It might be. Hold on. We're gonna go run. We're gonna run. Hi, Dread! I did see a putty tat. All right. Okay, we're gonna go over there. Hiya, nerds! Oh my goodness gracious. Dread, what'd you do today? Morgan, thank you for the 13 months. Hello. I did see a tall person. I thought it was a banshee. I was so convinced. Guys, freaking Dreadstone is such an amazing human being. Please make sure that you go check out their channel. So freaking funny. Her laugh is so freaking contagious. Is awesome to play games with. Hilarious to play Lethal Company and Lockdown Protocol with. The most contagious, I know. There's just certain people that have those laughs, you know? Look, every event has been a singing one. I swear to God. Golf with Friends who? Oh, that's right. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that Dread is also a Golf with Friends pro. Not a real one, but like she's stupid good at it. Skulls, thank you for the raid. Was this like just the timing? Hi, how are you? Jesus Christ. F off. No. Oh my God. It's a banshee? No, it's either an obake or a mimic. How are the games? Games are good. Ghosties are being mean. Spent hours watching YouTube videos on certain maps to learn how to get hole-in-ones. They can't ban you there, but I can. Damn it. I'll mod Morgan for like 3 seconds just because. There we go. All right. Come on. Come on. We want to see it. Crawling is actually better right now. Oh, fuck. Yep, saw it. Either that or there was an object toss. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw it that time. Oh, bake a cake. Saw it. It was Rhonda. Yep. I knew I seen it. I knew it. I've never been more ready in my life. Oh, man. Oh, my God, Xenon. How many times do I curse during a stream? Typically around 37. I've been trying to cut it back to 36. You know, I have problems, but I do my best. All right. Oh, bake a cake. Yeah. If I ever go over my limit, it just automatically covers all the cursing. So every time I say it gets it before I actually get it on stream. Yeah.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for
Oh, bake a cake. I knew it. I knew it. Slow. So proud. So proud. He's low on witches' supplies. Not issuing curses tonight. Cake has been baked. I don't even like cake. How about that? Don't even like it. No firelight. Listen. Just because you guys get every last thing every single time, some of us just get in and get out. No cake at all. No, other than like ice cream cake, but that's not even really cake. That's just ice cream at that point. It's a texture thing. Yeah. Skulls, thank you so much. Thank you again for the raid. I appreciate you. Go get some rest. Go get some foods. Thank you. Thank you. Rafa, not that kind of texture. I meant lazy ghosts won't even blow a candle. I didn't light a candle though. I don't think I lit one, did I? I don't think so. Not on that run. But Dread, same to you, friend. Been up since 5 a.m. for work. Ugh. Gross. Have an amazing rest of the stream. Oh, Dread, appreciate you, friend. Thank you so much. Go get all the sleeps. Go get all the sleeps you deserves. Yeah, I didn't think I did. Oh, thank you, Mr. Chinggis. Thank you, my friend. God, this is so Rocket League. I mean, this is too. I saw a recipe from the 70s using craft singles to make cheesecake. Was it from that guy that has the swoop, the big old swoop hair? Are you talking about a TikTok video? I like that guy. I like some of the videos he makes. Yeah. Yeah. Does the Obake, yeah, the Obake will shapeshift every hunt. Yeah. And it's not random. It's not random. It's a specific number of blinks. Yeah. Mike, I'm pretty sure Mike was one. I don't know if Mike was the first. I think he was to figure it out. Yeah. Yeah, there's a certain number of blinks that after that many, I think the first time it will transform into another ghost, I think is it 12? And then 15? I think. Part of the guinea pigs who fell victim to that science. I'm sure that you've had to fall victim to it many a time. There's a specific set of blinks in a row before it rotates back around that it will shapeshift, guaranteed. So if you're watching the Obake the entire time, you can count the blinks, literally count them. What was your new prestige card? Oh, this one. The new prestige card is this one. Is this one. Mel Whoops. I like it too. I dig. I think it was it Hyper that said about pointing out if you put it with this, like that badge right there, this guy with this one, it's pretty good. I wish that the Lighthouse Keeper badge was animated, but understandable why it's not. To get it, you just have to complete Point Hope 50 times. Upgrade items, thank you. It was me. It was Hyper. Yeah. I'm so I knew it was Hyper. Yeah. I wish if that was animated, that would be super cool. But it still looks good. The colors look good though. The colors make perfect sense. So I dig it. I dig. Yeah, the Halloween event that's coming, there, you will get a special ID card for completing it. The one from 2022 is this one. And then, right? Wait. Was that the one from 2022? Or 2023? Wait a minute. Oh, I'm confusing myself now. 50 gains of point hope for the Lighthouse Keeper badge. Yes, but you need to get the ghost correct. And you have to live. Yeah. You have to get it correct. You can't just play the map 50 times and just instantly get rid of yourself. You have to complete it. That was 2023. Right. Yeah, because they used to say what year they were, but now it's gone. Just play on friendly? You can. Yeah, absolutely. We tested that just to make sure that you could, and you can. You can do this one on friendly, the Lighthouse Keeper badge, and you can do this one on friendly too. You don't have to get hunted for either of these badges. Either. Always get the Jinn mixed up with turning on or off the breaker. The Jinn can't turn it off. The Hantu can't turn it on. Halen, it's really, really buggy. It's really laggy for me today. Yeah. But yeah, that was the Halloween. And then here is the actual trophies for them. So I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know if it's going to scooch over and then like it's going to sit here. I would assume so. There's more than enough space there. You just move that guy over and put that there. I would also love it if when you clicked on this, there wasn't some black overlay on it. Because that's kind of obnoxious. Like, I don't want to see the reflections. I don't want to see the glass. The whole point of me clicking on this is I want to see the damn trophy. Get rid of the reflections. Get rid of the bullshit. It's the same thing with these. When you click on these, the only one it doesn't do it on, this one. That's it. You click on any of the other ones, they're covered by that overlay. It's goofy. Yeah. I just think it wasn't completely thought out. That's all. Yeah, like this. Like, hey, I got the Apocalypse trophies. Can't see shit. But yeah, there they are. The events are fun, though. I'm excited for the event. The last one that they had for this one was really cool. Are you saying they didn't test stuff? I mean, I would never accuse anyone of anything. Ever. Ever. Didn't even know you click on them. Yeah, you can do it from over here, I think. Or like somewhere over here. Yeah, look. You can do it from here. I never noticed the Apocalypse 3 had glowy sparkles. Yeah, I know. The only way you can really tell is by going like this. But then the second you do this... I wonder if... Hold on. Hey! Look at that. Fuck that. So I have an OBS filter. I have my OBS filter for you guys. I can't see that on my screen here, but I can see it in OBS. Look at that. We'll solve it ourselves. This is how we can get a good look at all the stuff. Look, there's Frank. Kind of new. How do you get the trophies for events? So when the event happens, you have a certain time frame to do it in. You'll know because it'll actually tell you. It should tell you. This will change. There will be something on here to tell you about it and to give you all the details. So that's what we're waiting on now, is to find out when the event is going to happen. And then on that day, there should be an update where they add it into the game. Surprised they didn't switch the tier 1, tier 2 in the case around. I'm sure that they will. They just haven't yet. Yeah. How do you make an OBS filter for that? Inside of OBS, you just go to your game capture, whatever you're doing, and you add a filter, and then you can do a color correction, and then you can turn up the gamma. And then if you have a stream deck, you can connect it to a button and go like this. Or people will do a NVIDIA filter where it actually does it on the game itself. So OBS and you can see it. I don't do that one. I just do the one that OBS can see. Yep. Is the update? No, Philip. It is not out yet. No, we're waiting. We're waiting ever so patiently. Yeah. All right. I'm level 30, and I think that's probably a good place for today. Probably a good place for today. So guys, thank you for the games. Thank you for hanging out, chilling with me. I appreciate ya. We'll be live again on Friday for more fun. But stick around. We'll go to just chatting for a second, then we'll raid out. But thank you, friends. Xenon, it's good to see you, dude. How are the ghosties? Mr. Sog. Ghosties were okay. They were not that bad, honestly. They were fine. A couple of weenies here or there, but yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Guys, I appreciate you. If you're not in the Discord already, my Discord link is there if you want updates on my schedule, when I'm streaming, when I'm not, when I post new YouTube videos, any of that jazz. It's all there. I've got some helpful things in there too for maps and for ghosts if you needed more information as well. But always feel free to ask any questions, especially in the Phasmo channel in Discord. If you have any questions you ask in there, there's a good chance somebody's going to be able to respond. But yeah, we'll go find someone to say hi to. Should also get some sleep. Yeah, I didn't sleep well last night. I definitely need to as well. Appreciate you, JLB. 90. All right, let's go find a friend. Jocelyn, thank you for the biddies. Appreciate you. You had amazing sleep. Well, good for you. No, I'm glad you did. Just because I might get a crappy night of sleep doesn't mean I want others to. How's it feel to live our collective dream? Insomnia couple with stress is a bitch. Oh, I understand. You ending at 9 my time is perfect. I mean, I guess that is one benefit of where you are, is that when we end, it's not like we're ending midnight your time. Appreciate you, Cardinal. Thank you, friend. Yeah, the nice thing is that when you find certain streams to hang out in, like I can wake up, go to work, and when I get to work, have streamers that I watch pretty religiously or, you know, very often that I can just pop on immediately. That's nice. Because then throughout the day, you have someone to hang out with, and it's super cool. I don't know. I enjoy it a lot. There's a few that I see during the day that I will chill in. Maybe not say a lot, but I'll lurk the hell out of. And then all of a sudden I'll hear someone give some misinformation and I'll immediately jump in and be like, yeah, that's not right. Please don't tell people that because that's wrong. And now I'm going to have to field that question. Please don't. Yeah. All right. Listen, man, I will only do that if I'm 100% that I know that I'm right. If I'm not sure, I'll go find the answer and return to the chat with the correct answer. Get way too distracted. I mute the streams. Like I'm able to edit video while watching other people stream. Such a silly goose. Nuh-uh. I'm not. How dare you? Does the present next to my name mean I got gifted a sub again? No, the present next to your name represents that you've gifted subs. Halen. Yeah, the gift package or whatever. If you hover over people's names, you can see what badge they've earned from gifting. So like you can see yours, the really cool purple one with the blue stripe, the blue wrapping paper on it. I mean, the blue ribbon. That's the 251. And then like Morgan has the 10. But yeah, randomly when you see if you see the gift box, that's what that means. Had a streamer do a spirit test, have the ghost fail, and then still vote spirit. Then go on to say he's rarely wrong. What? Wait. They did a spirit test. Ghost fail. They still voted spirit. And then said that they're rarely wrong. See, even like I don't ever say that I'm rarely wrong. I don't know. I guess I just never word it like that. Like, oh man, I barely ever get these wrong. I'm so good. That's some weird energy. I don't know. I guess there's some people that probably, you know, regard themselves very high on the list of Phasmo creators or Phasmo players, I guess, which cool. Power to you. Daylight. Are you saying Daylight's one of them? Yeah. I hear her all the time. I'm so good. I never get the ghost wrong. I can't believe everyone sucks. Yeah. I know what you mean. I hear it all the time from her. That's right. Remember that the next time you start fart trains. Break never dies. What's really funny is that anytime I ever have the opportunity to raid into Break, we almost always raid in when she's dying. It's not on purpose. It's completely by chance, but it's really funny. Almost every time. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how the hell what are the chances of actually doing that? All right. If this, let's see. They're streaming. Ooh, and they're playing Forewarned. Maybe we'll do that. I'm lurking until I see someone die. I'm like, get in there. Tell them they suck. All right. So I have a bot to let. Yeah, that's what it is. I have a script that was written for it. Heckin' love Forewarned. I'm excited to try out the Halloween update. I want to try it really soon. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I need to. I might. Maybe I could do that Sunday. That's during the day. Maybe I could convince Coach to play then. Maybe that's the move. Because Coach said that she would play Forewarned with me again. I don't know if you guys remember that clip or not. Another one I would love forever. Scaring the shit out of her. Sunday would be good because it's during the day. She goes to sleep at like 6 p.m. Instead of live follower, it's dead follower. It tells you when someone dies in Phas. I don't work except be able to watch. I think I might do that. I think that might be the move. Maybe like get a couple levels in Phas or something and then switch over. I think that's it. This Friday, we are playing Friday the 13th with Midnight Society. So more group games, more funds. So Friday, we're doing that. I think Sunday, I'm going to do Forewarned. I'm going to try to. So I'll see if I can get a group. And then back to our normal stuff on Monday. Yeah. And then this month, at some point, we have a Halloween update and a console update for Phas. So we'll see. We'll see. And I think next month will be when we have the playing Shrek Power Wash Simulator DLC dressed or cosplaying as Shrek as the goal. I think that's what we're going to do. As of right now, unless I think of something better, and then we'll go with that instead. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, if we reach the monthly this month, I might make it the extended goal for this month. So we'll see. Is there any other games you really recommend other than Phas? Forewarned. It's a little bit in depth. It takes some time. You've learning the ropes, figuring it out. But it's super creepy. There are parts that are terrifying, scare the shit out of you. The sound is amazing. I love the sound in Forewarned. It is so good. The jump scares are incredible. You can become a mummy when you die, and it's hilarious because your voice is mummified, but it's so good. I'm so excited to play it. All right, let me get the raid messages. Lockdown, yes, is an amazing game. So fun with friends. All right, first one is if you're a follower. Second is if you're sub. The third is if you're a little creepy tier 3 that we just adore. We are going to go say hi to Dorky Awesome Guy. Dorky is awesome, super humble, super chill. Great streamer, but playing Forewarned as well. And we're down, Charlie Brown. Morgan, thank you so much. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate your friends. I will be live again on Friday with some Friday the 13th. I love that game so much. Love it, love it, love it. But guys, if you're not in the Discord is here. The rest of the socials are there. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. 'Twas a blast. We need to get some more Phas levels. I'm probably going to do some leveling offline too. Yeah. But I appreciate your friends. Thank you for all the subs. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for all the bits. Thank you for the raids. Much love always. Much love always. Appreciate you guys. Mr. Song, appreciate you, friend. Hi, Panda. Bye, Panda. We're about to raid out. But I appreciate you guys coming in. I will see you guys on Friday for more shenanigans and more funs. Bye, Hyper. Bye, Logan. Bye, Misfortune. Bye, friends. Bye. I will see you later. Bye. Deuces. Bye. See ya. Bye.